Start about the simple DDA. So today we will solve some numerical that will be based on the simple DDA. So far we have already done on the basis of the symmetrical DDA. So what is the simple DDA? Because in the preceding lecture we have already told about the symmetrical DDA. It uses a power of 2 for the calculation of the line length estimate. So in case of the simple DDA, we choose a line length estimate equal to the larger of the magnitudes of delta x and delta y. So the principle of the symmetrical DDA and simple DDA is a little bit different. Here again we will calculate epsilon delta y and epsilon delta x, and we will compare which one is greater, and if epsilon delta x, if delta x is greater, then we put epsilon delta x is equal to 1, or if the value of delta y is greater, then we put epsilon delta y is equal to 1. So in this case, there is no use of the inequality. That is the no need to find the value of n as in case of the symmetrical 2D. So in this case, either epsilon delta x or epsilon delta y is of unit magnitude. Okay, and it will depend on the values of delta x or delta y, which one is larger. So this allows to replace one of the DDA adders with the simple counter. So in case of the simple DDA, just we replace the value of x adder by 1, that is epsilon delta x is equal to 1 or epsilon delta y is equal to 1, and it will depend on the uh, larger value of the either delta x or delta y. So the simple DDA is as accurate as its symmetrical counterpart. So if we will consider from the point of view the accuracy, then approximate we will get the same straight line. Okay, but there is a little bit difference. The order of the sequence will be different here in case of the simple DDA, and also it is little bit better as compared to the calculation in case of the simple DDA, because we are using only one adder here. So it is simpler except initial division to determine the incremental value. Whenever we are going to calculate the points, either by using the simple DDA or the symmetrical DDA or the Bresenheim algorithm, all methods are based on the incremental methods. We use the incremental methods, and as the name suggests, simple DDA is simple as compared to the other ones. So, but each and every method has some drawback. So, in this case, the drawback, what is the drawback? Need for division logic makes it less suited to hardware implementation, because in case of the electronics engineering, it is very difficult to implement the division logic. Okay, so we avoid the division methodology, division methods. Now we are going to consider a problem so that you can easily understand the procedure of the simple DDA method. Okay, so here the points are 10, 2 and 21, 8, and we have to solve this problem using the simple DDA method. Okay, then we will proceed in the similar manner. X1 is equal to 10, X2 is equal to 21 as points are given here, y1 is equal to 2, y2 is equal to 8. Delta x, first we will calculate x2 minus x1, 21 minus 10, okay. Delta y, y2 minus y1, 8 minus 2 is equal to 6. Okay, so we will assign the points and we will solve, calculate the values of the delta x and delta y, same in all methods, but now here we will calculate epsilon, which is a increment, and this is equal to the 1 over line length. Okay, and this is equal to 1 over delta x or delta y. So here we will choose the larger value of the two. Okay, so in this case we can see delta x is equal to 11, delta y is equal to 6. So delta x is larger. Delta x has the larger value. So epsilon is equal to 1 over line length, and this will be equal to 1 over delta x here. Okay, because we are choosing only the larger value. So epsilon here we will calculate 1 over 11 because delta x is equal to 11. So this will come 0.0909. If you will do the calculation, then you will get the value of the epsilon here. Okay, then we will calculate epsilon delta x, and here because delta x is equal to has a larger value, then we will assume epsilon delta x is equal to 1. So here we will assign epsilon delta x is equal to 1. If delta y has a greater value, then we will choose epsilon delta y is equal to 1. Okay, because here delta x is equal to 11 and it has a larger value as compared to the delta y, then we will assign epsilon delta x is equal to 1. Now we have to calculate epsilon delta y. So this will equal to epsilon is equal to here 1 over 11. Okay, in the preceding case, we have already see epsilon is equal to 1 over 11 and it will depend upon the larger value. So we will calculate first epsilon and then again come to this and we will assume epsilon delta is equal to 1 because this has a larger value. Okay, then we will assign 1 to epsilon delta x. Then we will calculate epsilon delta y and this will be equal to the 6 over 11 because here delta y is equal to 6, y2 minus y1 and epsilon is equal to 1 over 11. So this will come 0.545. Okay, and x is equal to x1 plus 0.5 is equal to 10.5, y is equal to y1 plus 0.5 is equal to 2.5. Okay, because here we initialize or we will add 0.5 to both the values. The initial point here x is equal to whatever we have the initial point we will assign here and y is equal to this value, but we will add 0.5 to both values. Okay, and now ultimately at the end we will form a table. Now you can see the initial value of x, initial coordinate points 10 and y is equal to 2. So this will equal to 10 comma 2. Here we are adding 0.5 to both. Okay, because in this case we will also truncate the value, and whenever we will do the truncation, then it will affect the whole algorithm. That's why we will add 0.5 initially to both values to avoid the truncation. Okay, now epsilon delta x is equal to 1 and we will add here 1 to x value. Okay, because delta x is larger and epsilon delta x is equal to 1. So we will add here 1 to each value of x till we will get the final point. Here the final point is 21. So we will start to add 12.5, 13.5, 14.5 and so on up to 21.5. Okay, and now here we will add after this, after initializing by 0.5. So we will add the value of epsilon delta y, and epsilon delta y is equal to 0.545. That's why we will add 0.545 to each new value of y. Okay, and here we will add 1 because we have already assigned epsilon delta x is equal to 1. So this is called the simple counter because we are adding 1. This is easy. Okay, and here we will add the value of epsilon delta y. Again we will add to this value epsilon delta y and so on, and ultimately here we will get the final point approximate. We will reach to the approximate value of that. Okay, So in this case, here again you can truncate the values and write the coordinates 10.5, 2.5, 10, comma 2, 11.5, 3.045, 11, 3 here, okay, and 12.5, 3.59. Here we will get 12, comma 3 and so on. And ultimately, finally, we will draw the graph for that and we will get the approximate straight line here. So now we are going to consider this by using the Bresenham algorithm. So we will solve the same problem with the help of the Bresenham algorithm. So what is the Bresenham algorithm? Even though we have already discussed in the preceding class, in this case, here first we will do 2 or 3 steps same, that is whatever the initial points and the final point, and we will calculate delta x and delta y. But here there is a involvement of the error term, that is e is equal to, and we will initialize this error term e is equal to delta y over delta x minus 0.5. That is the initial value of the error term. This is developed by the Bresenham. So that's why this is called the Bresenham algorithm. He first calculated the error term E, and if E has a positive sign, then he added to get the new point of y is equal to y plus 1. And if the value of E is negative, then we will get the new value of x. Similarly, we will proceed. But here again, we will initialize the value of E, and also we have to calculate the new value of E. So if E is positive, then we will change again the new value of E and we will add y is equal to y plus 1, and if E is negative, then we will calculate the new value of x after addition of 1, and we will add again to get the new value of the error term. Okay, so similarly, we will solve the same numerical with the help of the Bresenham, but first we will emphasize over the advantages of the Bresenham algorithm. It is easy to implement. We can easily design this. It is fast and incremental. Each and every methods are based on the incremental method. Okay, it executes fast. So it executes fast but less faster than DDA algorithm. The points generated by this algorithm are more accurate than DDA algorithm. Okay, the points generated by this algorithm are more accurate than DDA algorithm. It uses 6 points only. Okay, so here we will use the 6 point, and the points generated by the algorithm are more accurate than the DDA. So that's why we use the Bresenham algorithm to get the more accurate straight line. But all such methods are based on the incremental method. It is why is it called the less faster than the DDA algorithm? Because the calculations are here complex. Okay, what are the disadvantages? Each and every methods have some advantages and also disadvantages. So we designed at optimum conditions. We involve more advantages and less disadvantages. So we know that it improves the accuracy of the generated points, but still the resulted line is not smooth. So by using this method, we are not getting the proper straight lines. The line is not so much smooth, but this is mostly used to draw the basic line. And also another disadvantage of this, we are not getting the proper straight line. It has some diminishing jaggies. Okay, you know already what is the jaggies. It is not properly state, we get the line with a little bit curve. Okay, and we can say that it contains the some sharp points. Okay, very fork type. That is a very sharp point. That is called the jagged, not proper state. Now again we are considering the same problem we will solve with the help of the Bresenham algorithm. So again we are considering x1 is equal to 10, x2 is equal to 21. The same point we are considering y1 is equal to 2, y2 is equal to 8. First we will calculate delta x, and this is equal to x2 minus x1, 21 minus 10 is equal to 11. So here we will get again the same value as in case of the simple DDA. Again, we will calculate delta y, y2 minus y1, 8 minus 2 is equal to 6. Okay, E is equal to delta y over delta x minus 0.5. So this is called the error term which we will use in case of the Bresenham algorithm. Okay, so E is equal to delta y over delta x minus 0.5. So this is the initial value of E by using this methodology. So we will calculate E is equal to 0.045. This is the initial value. Okay. And how many steps will involve in this method? Then we will see here. For I is equal to 1 to delta x. Here delta x is equal to 11. So total steps will involve means we will reach up to the final point in 11 steps. Okay, we will start from 1, I is equal to 1, this is the counter and this is the loop. So we will get the final points after solving up to 11 steps. Okay, so here we will see that this value is positive. Okay, initially we will assign this value to E and we will calculate the value of E. Here E is greater than 0. So y is equal to y plus 1 is equal to 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Okay. So here if E is positive, then we will add 1 to the y value. Okay. And we will get the new value of y. And again the value of E will be changed. And that will be equal to the E is equal to E minus 1. Okay. This is the new value of E. So after getting the new values of x or y, again the error term will change. Okay, so here in this case, the error term we will get E is equal to E minus 1, that is 0.045, this value minus 1. And you can see here, this is negative value, so this is less than 0. If it is less than 0, then we will add x is equal to x plus 1. We will add 1 to the x, and this is the new value of x. Here we will get 11. And if the value of E is negative, then the error term will be equal to the E is equal to E plus delta y over delta x. Okay, again we will calculate the value of E, new value of E, and we will put this the preceding one value minus 0.955 plus delta y over delta x. This is fixed one at the starting. Initially we have already calculated this, and this is equal to, we will replace the value, same value here, and we will get minus 0.41, and this is less than 0. Okay, because this is a negative sign, so we can say that E is less than 0. And if E is less than 0, again we will add to the x value. So we will get here preceding one is the 11 and plus 1. So this will be equal to the 12. And if E is negative, again the error term will be equal to the E is equal to E plus delta y over delta x. Again put this the last value of E and add this fixed value of delta y over delta x, and we will get here 0.135. Now you can see that this value we are getting here, this is positive 1. So we will write here E is greater than 0 and y is equal to y plus 1. So if this is positive 1, okay, then we will add to the y value And what is the preceding or last value of y? 3. Then 3 plus 1, and we will get here new value of y is 4. Okay, because e is greater than 0, then new value of error term e is equal to e minus 1. Okay, if e is positive, then e is equal to e minus 1, and if e is negative, then this is equal to this. So you concentrate seriously on this, that how we will solve for new values of e. Okay, it will depend either e is greater than 0 or less than 0, and we will get the new value of e. So again here we are getting the negative value. We can write here e is less than 0, and then again add to x is equal to x plus 1. So last value we have already solved for that, 12 plus 1 13. And if we are adding to this, then new value for this is equal to e plus delta y over delta x, and this will come again negative. E is less than 0, and we will solve and so on, and just we are considering. So we will do the calculation in the similar fashion as we will achieve the final point. Okay, and this will depend on the value of the error term, either we are getting the positive sign or negative sign, and ultimately at the end we will reach up to the final point 21. Okay, and we will get again this positive value, and like this we will write e is greater than the 0, then y is equal to y plus 1 9. Okay, so at the end we will prepare a table for the new generated function. Okay, now I hope that everything must be clear. And now, if you have any query, then you can ask. Okay, and try to solve more number of problems based on simple DDA or the symmetrical DDA or the Pressenham algorithm. Okay, and at the end, I will also give you the three problems so that you have to submit up to Monday on the Google Classroom. I have already uploaded my every lecture, video lectures, as well as the PPTs on the Google Classroom. So you have to submit this these three problems on the Google Classroom. Okay, no need to take the photographs or like that. Just solve in the rough copy, and after solving each and every problem, you will transfer it on the uh, Word file. Okay, and then attach the same Word file to the Google Classroom so that you can send me the attachment, and